power very easily. So from your perspective, BFJ, what do they need to do to break this deadlock that is currently happening from TNC?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're forcing the hand on the side of TNC. Like, they know that when you're this far behind, the natural rotation is to go to the opponent's safe lane tower. That's like the easiest tower to take. And so KP, being a very good player, has planted himself in this lane, and he's like, okay, my Morphling's gonna farm mid. Like, we can always collapse all 5 heroes on mid. The goal for TNC is to be able to have 5 heroes at all 3 towers. And now that it's like you have this wall bottom, it's like Liquid just has to brute force it somewhere, but I don't
so
think
you're
they
saying
can.
like maybe Liquid needs to go for like some sort of good smoke gank
They
that
have
surprises
to.
the Veno, or
maybe wait for the Axe Blink if he's going one, which he isn't. He actually went for a hood.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like just, you know, you ask like what is Liquid's plan? I don't think they have one, and I'm not like flaming. I'm saying
they don't have a plan right now.
Yeah, they can't do
don't
anything
have plays
yet.
right now. They have to wait for some more farm. Right?
Yes, and while this is happening, Morphling's just working his way towards the Yasha Ags. I mean, that's just the dream, right? You're gonna have the probably around a 20-minute Ags on Morphling.
Yeah.
And suddenly this hero that you slaughtered in the laning stage is gonna be, I think Morphling with Ags with a Shaker on your team is probably the most powerful carry in the entire game at that stage.
Yeah. Some would say that's a broken combo.
Yeah. I mean, they first rounded it for a reason.
Yeah, nobody else is like first rounding Morphling except for when you pair it with an Earthshaker. Yeah, there's a good reason for that.
The heroes you first round are heroes that, despite how good or bad their start is, they're going to do their job in the game, and that pretty much the only time Morphling can do that is, even if he's countered, is when he has the Shaker.
All right, well, TNC, they staved off the pressure long enough at that bottom lane that they eventually just made a rotation themselves, punished Taiga, who so painstakingly set himself up to try and catch out the puck at some point, and ends up getting caught. Now they're able to pressure the bottom tower while simultaneously defending mid, thanks to KP's Boots of Travels, which I think is, you know, I haven't seen like a ton of Venomancer in this current meta, but I think it is like a nice twist. We're seeing lots of Boots of Travels lately, and Boots of Travel Veno looks really nice. March is going to get caught trying to get some aggressive wards down, and a good Ice Shards does come out from Taiga. And maybe this is the kind of things that Liquid needs. Sometimes when you're just kind of stuck in a situation where you know you can't make moves, you just have to wait, keep farming, and
meanwhile, top though.
Yeah, look at this. Charge out, that's gonna be a coil, catching out the Axe. Axe just gonna turn, kill whatever creeps he can. He knows he's dead.
I'm gonna be as concise as possible with this analysis. They took bottom tier 1 on TNC. That makes it really hard for bottom tier 1 to be taken by Liquid. So that forces Liquid to play top, which is like no tower there, you're in dead man zone, like you're alone. And suddenly there's ganking this level 11 Axe, and it looks like he's just feeding. And that's like such a forced play by TNC. They're executing perfectly their lineup. And now you see the movement by Liquid in the mid lane going on Puck, but that's a Puck with no stuns.
They do manage to get the Walrus Punch. That will finish off Armel. So Armel does die. KP does get a decent ultimate off. That Poison Nova is going to make sure the rest of Liquid is going to be chased away. Taiga tries to go for a cheeky teleport out, but
that's my problem with the Liquid lineup. They have this Visage hero.
Yep.
But once you get these kills, now what? That's my emphasis. Is they have so much damage just to throw at you with the Undying, the zombies, the Venomancer DOTs that you talked about. And this is all before TNC's hit their power spike. And usually you can't really go bots on Veno because you're like, your job is to push towers and defend towers. And usually you kind of like feed though. But since he had such a good start, he didn't have to buy any of these like 4 staves or these types of items that keep him alive. Boots of Travel is just a way to enable himself to be in any lane he needs to be in, whether it's defending, whether it's pushing the lane. And let me tell you, if you want to understand where to farm on the map, if you're like trying to practice this as like an off-lane pace setting type player, this has been a flawless performance by KP. He's recognizing, he's shutting down Liquid's objectives, and whenever Liquid's objective taking is shut down, he then proceeds to go to his own team's objectives and say, okay, we need to push here, do this, like show up to these kills. He's been everywhere on the map, and Venomancer, not really a hero you think like this hero takes over the game, but I mean, I think this has really been a Venomancer show so far. Like everything in this game has been dictated by the pace this hero sets, and he's going really good enabling items for his Morphling's timing. He has the urn going into Solar Crest. I really like the lining up of timings that TNC is setting up here. Halfway to his Ags already, should be about 20 minutes like we said. And then I guarantee the way I've been talking about this game There's gonna be like some random throw, and they're all gonna die, and everything I said just doesn't matter.
It is one of those situations where Liquid is kind of checkmated when it comes to moving around the map. They're just forced to let TNC farm up, but all of that could get thrown away by TNC just making one mistake when it comes to a team fight, getting a little over aggressive, pushing into a high ground without vision. Something like that could just kind of throw away.
So you could easily get like 3-man called and just blown up. And that's something that I think if the Veno continues to itemize properly and just be positioned correctly on the map, that's never going to happen. But like you said, one false step and there absolutely is potential to just immediately throw this game. But Earthshaker already has a blink dagger 17 minutes in the game. And that's the effect of Veno that I'm trying to emphasize. He's not a hero that you see taking over the game because he's like 8-0, you know, almost godlike, highest net worth in the game. Everyone else on his team, the Morphling that was crippled, now the #1 net worth in the game. Earthshaker, 4 position, has a 16, 17-minute blink dagger. That's what the impact of having this Veno hero is and everything that he's done in this game.
He reinforced bottom, TP's in the mid, pushes that out a little bit. Now it's up at top lane, joining the rest of his team, going for this kill onto Boxy, who is going to be saved for a moment here by the imprisonment, but he's just going to come back to his doom as he's far too slow and far too low to be able to get out. So TNC.
That was smooth.
Look for a few more kills. Thank you, thank you. 7-7, but certainly not an even game as TNC holding a 5,000 net worth lead and controlling most of the map. And look at that, our Boots of Travel's returned. Armel, boop, shows up to the bottom lane, deals with the creep wave that's pushing in. Koifa's gonna get 0 damage on that tower. And it's very, very soon, Liquid's gonna lose their mid tower. And once they lose their mid tower, like all semblance of map control is gone on this team.
This is the best Dota I've seen so far today. Like in terms of, this is just tier 1 Dota in my opinion from TNC. Like this just everything. The way I envision tier 1 Dota is like it's like this is exactly how a perfect game would look for this lineup, and how they itemize, how they're playing the map. Like the fact that Puck now has bots, she can kind of take over the dangerous farm while Veno plays with the team. He has a solar crest. Everything just, all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together so nicely. Gabby, what's his status on the Ags? Oh, he went Manta. Interesting. So he went more of this like luxury farming item. He's thinking that he wants to delay out the game a little bit longer, I think. Like he wants like a 7 or 8K net worth lead rather than the 4 or 5K before he starts fighting.
Do you think this is as a result of them just being so successful in controlling the map? He's like, I might as well take advantage of all this space that we have.
Yeah, I mean, Veno and Puck are just unkillable at this moment, unless Veno oversteps, but unless that happens.
Taiga not quite hitting that Walrus punch thanks to the Dream Coil coming out from RML, but a blink forward from Mickey. He wants to be able to win this fight, but can they actually do it with the KP? Immediately throwing out the Poison Nova hammer drop, but not quite finishing off any of these heroes. Boxy coming in fast, does have the Battle Hunger speeding him up. A nice ward block. KP's making it up. They see him, but they can't kill him. He gets away. To the fountain he goes. All of TNC retreat, except for Armel, who has nothing to fear from a Liquid who has expended every single bit of resources they had to finally try and get a good fight, and it ends up getting them 0 kills.
That's just crippling. Like I said, you need to kill this damn Veno. And that fissure block was insane. Like the Soul Assumption, just not quite enough damage. That value Belt of Strength and Bracer, I mean,
oh yeah,
holy moly, you just had to get that kill. Like it's not like you win the game with that kill, but that's a necessary step 1 to the process.
Yeah.
And
would have alleviated a little bit of pressure on the map. Maybe you could have gotten a bit aggressive
maybe
during
get a
his
tower,
downtime.
maybe you get a Roche or something because you have this Visage hero.
Get better bounty control. They're going to be able to find Boxy here as they make a smoke up into the triangle. Now, Mickey is here, does have the imprisonment. They've already used the Shrine, though. The Snowball is going to try and pick up the axe instead. He managed to blink himself away, but that's perfect for Armel. Now, with the axe right next to the OT, they get a beautiful Dream Call. They're going to try and run him over. Disruption by Mickey, bit point, but there's Tim's entering in with the Blink Dagger. Echo Slam to finish off the 2 cores, and a Fissure to be able to block out the Captain Insania. And look at that, KP immediately TPing up to the top lane. They are giving Liquid absolutely nothing. They will not take any damage on their towers despite that split push from Koifa. Win the fight, defend your towers at the same time. This is just beautiful Dota from TNC.
Yeah. Yeah. Their lineup conceptually is just so good against what Liquid has. Like, Liquid has all these saves, you have the Shadow Demon Disruption, you have the OD Imprisonment, and you have this Puck Veno that just thrive in these long fights, like throwing out all the nukes from Puck on low cooldown. They have no immediate stuns to kill the Puck, so he can just play super aggressive. Venomancer's just gonna wear you down over time. The Poison Sting, a ridiculous amount of damage as a passive. And now he's built to enable his course first. It also enables Roche whenever they want to take it with the Solar Crest. And now he's like, well, the only potential way we lose this game is if OD just goes off. So I'm just gonna itemize to screw over OD. I'm gonna buy this Halberd, and then eventually you might even see like a Shiva, something like that.
Making himself tankier as well.
Yeah,
like,
it just makes it harder for the enemy team.
Bursted down with the Heaven's Halberd plus the Solar Crest. He's got just way too much HP and armor.
And he took the Poison Sting slow. I like that a lot because you have the Axe, OD, and Visage, all 3 cores with no innate mobility. So that 12% slow is slowing them, right? Like, they are going to be consistently slowed on all of their mobility spells.
Oh, the smoke up, they're going to be able to instantly jump on the Venomancer, trying to pull him up, the snowball on through, continuing to chain stun him with Walrus Punch, is able to finish off the kill. They're going to deal with the Tombstone and then start marching forward. Can they finally take a tier 1 tower 23 minutes in? Liquid looking to finish up that mid-tier 1. And with 35 seconds on the clock for a Venomancer, they might just be able to do it, or maybe TNC. Oh, they're trying to make a fast play. Armel thinks he's free up here in the top lane to go for that tier 2, but caught by Boxy. They have the snowball. They're going to try and chase this Puck after he jumps away, but it's just too far out. He's not going to be able to make it in time. And that means that mid lane push, they still get the tower.
Yeah, the problem is the only way you're killing this Veno is with smokes.
He still gets bursted down. Gets a little bit too close trying to protect that tower. And Liquid, they may not have gotten the kill at top lane, but still a decent win between the Venomancer and that mid-tier 1.
I'm curious to see if Boxy considers going for a Shadow Blade here. Usually when you're against Veno as a Blink initiator, you almost need the Shadow Blade because you're walking through Veno wards in order to get on top of this guy. If you don't have a Shadow Blade, you have to be smoked like you were there to actually get that Blink off. And wow, that's the right move for Liquid. They had to do that. They had to kill the Veno to get anything done. But like I said, you're only getting those kills when you're smoked, and that's just rough. You do have the Ags already done on Morphling. His game is accelerating like crazy. Yeah, Visage suffers against these split-pushing type cores, and you're against Morphling, Puck, and even a hero like Veno. You do have a pipe, though, so that's really nice for the team, the sustain aspect.
Let's say 5 minutes from now, maybe less, we've got BKB on the OD. Can Mickey carry this game for them?
He can carry, but it's going to be off the back of some boxy like 2 or 3 man call.
Right.
That's what it has to be. Like I said, once he comes out of BKB, these long fights are so in favor of TNC. So it's not really in the OD's capability himself to make it so he can destroy them during the BKB. Right? Like
you need that good initiation.
Yeah,
and that's why the Shadow Blade is all important for Boxy.
BKB queued up.
Okay.
Well, it's his job to throw himself in, but I think if he doesn't get a 2 or 3 man call, it's just not going to be enough. If they see the BKB from OD, you're just going to
disruption and do all of these things, but there's so much AoE damage. Gabby jumping even farther forward to be able to catch Koifa up next. A stun on the Boxy as well. Gets the call onto Gabby, but Gabby being healed up by the Soul Rip means there's no chance to be able to claim that kill. Jumping forward again, there is no escape from the Aghanim's Morphling. Once you have been broken, nobody is getting out of the fight. An Aghanim's Morphling with an Earthshaker on his team will catch every single hero trying to retreat.
Yeah, I mean, the turn potential, that's what I meant when I said they win like long fights. Their turn potential is insane. Puck Coil, the Shaker, the Ags Morphling, the Veno ward slowing you as you're trying to run away. They have to win the fight in the first like 5 seconds. That's what I was trying to explain in the draft. And this Morphling has this like critical threshold, undying with the clutch Soul Rips on March, like saving Morphling not only during the OD ult so he could get his replicate off for whatever it is that you switch from back.
And now turning back towards poor old Taiga, who has nowhere to be able to run to, and Liquid, they're just bleeding out now at this point. Hemorrhaging kills, hemorrhaging buildings. TNC will back up as they see a buyback coming in. No need to get greedy. They've taken a tier 3. They can go for shrines next. This game is well in hand for TNC, and it would take an epic throw to give Liquid even a chance at coming back.
Yeah, it's definitely... their draft is not meant to be at this pace. That was a bit confusing to me when they picked like this Visage OD combo. OD, a slow hero, Visage, a hero that wants to set the pace of the game. And this Veno pick was just so good. But yet they picked the Visage into the Veno. I can see why you have this pipe aura builder to sustain, but in my opinion, there's just like no such thing as sustaining against Veno. Like, it just doesn't work. Eventually, as long as there's some other hero to actually carry the game, the Venomancer is just too much of a problem. And I know I'm highlighting him despite us watching this Morphling jump around with Ag Shaker and everything, but he's the one that set all this up to happen.
Was doing so well and how he was able to create all this space, and they are going to find their initiation on a Gabby, who does have the Aegis, so Liquid cannot overcommit for this one, but they can't even finish him off in the first place. The imprisonment goes down, but he's going to come back where he'd enchant Totem to way out into the back lines. Wait, and now jumping back in. Gabby getting dangerously low for a moment there, trying to go for Koifa, has a horde of zombies on him. Liquid going to have to give up this lane of barracks, it looks like.
I didn't know that interaction when you said he's going to show up on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful Manta. And that is Elena Barracks, and TNC give up nothing for it once again. I mean, how many times have we said that? TNC have made a good play and have given, 0 kills, 0 towers, just very clean Dota by them at this tournament.
Yeah, I can't even fault Alliance. I think that they kind of got... Ever since the laning stage, they set the pace of the game on TNC, and they never let up.
Yeah.
They have... Like, if you have a superior game plan and the lanes go your way and you play flawless Dota, you're just not going to lose. Like, that's just Dota in a nutshell. In these types of situations, teams will really only lose if they kind of just give it away. It's like, it's TNC's game to lose, right?
Yeah.
It was never, in my opinion, Liquid's game to win. It was just at any point, they were just at the hands of some poor positioning by TNC. And at this point, the ease of execution for TNC is just
that's gotta hurt. And now Gabby quickly joining Armel at the pickoff onto Insania. They're gonna be able to blow up this OD. He has his BKB, but honestly, what's the point? The physical damage of Gabby would quickly overwhelm him one way or another. 2 heroes down. TNC continue to just run back and forth around the map between their 2 boots of travels and the Aghanim's Morphling, allowing you to be able to quickly move across vast amounts of terrain. There's just not enough space for Liquid to ever get outside of their base, and if they don't get outside of their base, then eventually they'll find their tier 3s falling.
Yeah, this is what I like to call shepherd mode for TNC. That you got the sheep on Liquid, and you say your fence is here. If you cross this area, we're just gonna remind you you're not allowed to go out there. And Liquid just 27,000 net worth lead for TNC. Look at all those tips for KP. I mean,
TNC agrees with you.
Yeah.
KP was the reason.
You have to rely on your offlaner to like take over a game like this. I think in this patch, it's very important that the offlaners are versatile, that they can be these save type heroes, or they can be the hero that's just gonna play. I can't even fault that at this point. You might just need double BKB, double ult, but this is a dieback from Mickey. That's an Axe coil, and
yeah. Doesn't quite land though, but the orb over the top will make sure that Mickey does fall. Boxy does manage to get the call onto Armel. Armel gets bursted down. Can they grab more? KP trying to slither away, but Koifa's birds hot on pursuit, but they can't chase for long. They know Gabby's got to be around here somewhere. And Taiga, poor Taiga, zombies, poison slow. They're going to leave him to die here in Sania. I'm not even sure if you could turn around and save your ally. Disruption going down, but obviously he's coming back to the same spot he was before. What a beautiful Fisher. Finally, Gabby shows up once again, hunting down Insania at every turn. Beautiful Fisher block coming in from Tims as well to be able to catch Koifa. Make sure he's not going anywhere. Gabby with the double damage. I want to see him one-shot somebody. You know, Insania, who's popped back.
This is almost got one shot.
Non-stop.
The Gravekeeper cloak were down, and he almost got one shot.
All right, Boxy. Oh, there he goes. Insania. Oh, it wasn't quite the one shot, but he does finish off with the adaptive strike. Boxy's going to fall as well, and that leaves no buybacks for Liquid and just Taiga all alone in the fountain. TNC. Oh, I guess they did get enough gold for Boxy to be able to buy back, but it won't make a damn difference. Gabby with the satanic pickup and an ultra kill for game one. What a dominant performance by TNC. BSJ, I think you pointed out very rightly all the things that were going good for TNC, and there wasn't just a whole lot of mistakes. So I want to take this back like 33 minutes ago. Should they have shut down the Venomancer instead? Should they have gone the tri-lane into the Veno and just said, hey, Boxy, you're going to have a bad lane. Sorry, bud.
I think they had to. It's odd to say this, but earlier last series we saw the Axe come back from like a crappy start because he had like a pace-setting gyro that was able to take over the game. Visage is a hero that can do that. You don't have to take over the game as Axe. You can come back and let your Visage set the momentum. So,
yeah.
But looking forward to game two, TNC with some good Dota.
Yeah, TNC looking great. As we're going to head to a panel that I'm sure is just going to lay on even more praises on beautiful game from TNC.
When it's played like that, Dota is a beautiful game for everyone except for those involved in the team that's getting beaten, of course, one of which we have on our panel right now. Will, that wasn't pleasant for Liquid fans, was it?
It was not. They got stomped.
How does it feel, man?
What do you mean?
I think it's fun to like rub it in, even though that's unfair.
Why?
I don't know. Because you're like actually
it seems kind of just mean.
You're like, yeah, a little bit, but you're actually on the panel, you know. So we get to like tell me your emotions right now.
I mean, it sucks. I don't feel good.
It's not over yet, though. You guys can still win the game.
That's very true.
Let's talk about the game itself, Will, because you were very vocal about the fact that the boys were focusing on that morphling all the way through the draft. Seemed to have the answers, but didn't matter.
I think the bigger issue is that you pick the way that you pick because you think you're going to win 3 lanes, or at least 2. So the way that it goes is you open the SD, which is just a safe hero. They take Earthshaker Morph. Then you take the Axe. You ban the Bat Rider. So you think that the idea is that you put your Axe in the safe lane, and no matter what, he wins the one-on-one matchup. But March was really smart. He takes the Venomancer, who completely destroys the Axe. Suddenly, Liquid are in a position where they lose that lane off, right? They pick the Puck, which you take the OD thinking that OD has no bad matchups. You think like any melee hero that they pick, TA, you have enough control, like you're fine. But then you take this Puck, Armel is just such a god playing the hero, and suddenly you have 2 losing lanes. And it doesn't really matter that you won the tri-lane because the 2 lanes that actually matter that you picked for ended up losing.
And after you win the tri-lane too, you need to go pressure the Morphling to delay his Ags and other item buildup, but you can't do that because the Veno takes his early advantage, and he just super defends the tower in a really good way because KP has very good game sense. He knows where to go. He knows how to make sure that ganks are hard. And when you have a lineup that is greedier, and you do a good job, and your opponents like don't get enough ganks, don't pressure enough, it's like the games just feel over. You're in those games, sometimes you're playing against an Alchemist, you never gank him, all of a sudden he pops out, he's got all the items in the world. And KP effectively did that with his early laning stage and positioning. So it was like just good pick for the game, and also amazing play too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the combination, Will, isn't it? Perfect combination. You want a player in form, and you want to give him a good hero, and KP got that.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely carried this game. Like, with the way that he moved around the map, he immediately takes top tower, then he gets the travels, he makes his way towards mid. Anywhere that they decide to try to put the Axe, he's always there. That's the benefit of having the boots of travel, is that you can play this mobility style game, and you never give anybody a free lane. That was the big thing, is that you didn't trade farm on the side of TNC at any point. They just suffocated you. That was just really well done by TNC.
Yeah, it was really well. I mean, I don't want to lay it on, but could Alliance have done anything different?
Liquid?
Sorry, Liquid, yes.
No, I want to.
That's the first of many I'll do this next 6 days, I'm sure.
I don't know, because maybe you rotate the Tusk up to top sooner, but the problem is, like, Veno's not that easy of a hero to kill.
Yeah.
Like, even though he doesn't have a lot of HP, if you don't burst him immediately, he just lives.
Yeah, I mean, once you gel people and get away from them, if they don't have like a range here that can kite you down or something like that, once you leave melee range, it's like he's gone.
Yeah.
And he also, his skill build was like very ward heavy as well, so it was very easy for him to keep vision around places that he was farming, and also like push creep waves rapidly if you wanted to. You could also sit back, let the wards get the last hit, but still be in experience range. So there's a lot of abusive things you can do that just make it more difficult, not to mention that you outlane right at the start of the lane stage.
All right, good stuff. Thank you very much. Time for a break here at ESL 1 Hamburg 2019. Plenty for Team Liquid to be thinking about in that break as well, as they suffer a shock surprise first game defeat. They get another chance to go head-to-head with TNC after the break.
What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
At the highest level of play, there can be no compromises. Gamers demand the highest clock speeds to give them the FPS they need to perform. Rise to the moment. Intel Core i7, the official CPU of ESL 1. Intel, unleash your brilliance.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
So this is it. This is where it all started. The great business of DHL.
You remember when we still use these?
We have all come a long way since then.
Hey, Effie, my little buddy. I got a special job for you. And this is only the beginning.
Life is made up by special moments that touch us. A touch of genius, an inspirational touch, and a touch of magic. Some touches are simply unique. Euronics, a human touch in a digital world.
Fly so high they can't touch us. So top notch, none above us. We done came so far, now we up now. Had a vision, stuck to it, never back down. Never had much, now we own the whole thing. Spread it all around the world, watch it all change. Came alive, now they all see the greatness. Light shine so hard they can't take it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive. walk a different path. Nothing can hold me back. I've passed the point of no return. Something is calling me. It's in the air that I breathe. Bring me back to life again. Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the edge and come alive. Go to hell and back just to feel the fire. We gon' turn up in this place and come alive.
I've been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams out lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of phases, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Under peach yellow skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away. All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away. We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy.
ESL 1 Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Asus Republic of Gamers, Pay Safeguard, and Euronics.
Welcome back to ESL 1 Hamburg 2019. Day number 1 continues in our third series of the day. One of the favourites, or one of the big team names, has gone down in game number 1. Team Liquid look to bounce back in game 2 against TNC Predator. Over on the other stream right now, also a bounce back required, as Wind and Rain have taken the opening game in their match against Gambit. The highly fancied Gambit, it has to be said by a number of our panel members and, of course, our analysts and players alike. We're going to head to draft number 2 very shortly. We've got fine gentlemen alongside me, of course. We've got Blitz and we've got Purge. Gents, we've also had a little bit of bad news, which we can't go into too much, but one of the Quincy Crew players has fallen unwell and has gone to hospital, unfortunately, which means they've had to forfeit. So we're going to change up our games at the end. We're going to do TNC versus NIP now as our 4th game of the day. It's always a shame when that happens. I know, travelling, you know, foreign country, food, all sorts of things happen.
Yeah.
Can't really, you know, do anything about it. I think all we want to make sure is that they're okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of germs in airports. You have to go through a minefield to get here. I'm not surprised. It's just unlucky that it happened during the day. Sometimes the illness hits you. Happened to me at TI. I was like mid-panel, and after it was ending, I was like, I need to go home now.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. When it just hits you like that, unfortunately.
Yep, happens sometimes.
Yeah. So, yeah, commiserations to them. And also, yeah, hopefully everything's okay and the player can return tomorrow and hopefully carry on. But if not, you know, just be safe. Whoever it is, we don't know who it is right now. We've not got that information, but we hope they recover fully, and we wish them well. So as I said, we'll do TNC versus NIP. Right now, though, we're focusing on our 3rd series of the day. It's Team Liquid versus TNC. Will, your boys are going to step up right now.
Yeah, right now it's pretty disappointing considering like the history of the org and how big it is. Like this is not the way that I think everybody wanted to start, especially. Like you come into this tournament, you're already off to pretty rough start. Like, because the first draft is always supposed to be your best. It's the one that you can prepare for the most, right? It's your idea about the game. They knew that TNC really likes taking first picks, so they take that away from them. You go into it pretty confidently with your first 2 picks, and then you just get mauled like that. It does not feel good.
Smart draft from March, though.
It's a very smart draft from March. I felt like he addressed everything perfectly with the later picks. Like I thought the Veno pick was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, he adjusted really well, but it was also that they opened with something crazy. You know, like they defined the draft with their opening, not so much. Whereas on the Liquid side, they were like, we're going to pick a Shadow Demon to open, and then we'll try to react to you. So it's like they didn't even get to start with their strongest draft. You could argue they came into it thinking like, all right, we're going to try to outdraft them. And they didn't force their opponents to play into them, and yeah, they just had a little bit of a misstep.
What's the pressure like, Will, for these boys? They are stepping. I mentioned at the top of the show they're stepping into big shoes. A very successful former squad for Team Liquid. Liquid are an organisation which are used to success across all of the games that they compete in. They won't want to shy away from the fact that they in the top 2, 3 in the running for every tournament they go to. That's the kind of teams that they like and love, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's not easy, especially with like how everything started and pretty much like. Old Liquid fans are going to love the previous roster. Sure. Everyone hated them for a bit for the whole Alliance bit. But, like, right now, it's, they're in a kind of weird position because I think they don't really know where they stand anymore in the community. But, like, the best way to get that love back is just to win.
Yeah, just head down and get on with it, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody likes a winner.
Yeah.
Come on,
Once you get into that kind of groove, you'll be all right.
I think it's easily going to look better for you as a squad if you change rosters rather than kick a player. I think roster swapping is definitely, maybe not more toxicness. Toxic is the wrong word because teams do need to swap players sometimes, but I think they did the right thing, sponsor hopping, whatever. People are going to get used to it. It's just going to be Paul over here saying Alliance a little bit too much. And
I hope.
And they're going to have to change all their jerseys and their Twitter pages, and that's about it. No big deal.
Yeah. Yes, plenty of pressure on these guys. Also, though, Will, it's early, right? I mean, that's because the expectation is high, obviously, for them to do well because they look like a good team at TI. They didn't look like the best team in the world, but they look like a good team that were progressing and were hungry. They've been together a long time. There's some stability in there. They've got Boxy and they've got Mickey. They've got players that look really flashy at times and they've got lots of potential. But it's a longer-term project than just, you know, September and October of 2019, isn't it?
Of course. Something I really like that Seb always preaches is always take a long-form view of the situation. Like, everyone will make fun of OG. I'm sure, like, for example, if they're playing right now and they're doing poorly, like, oh, they're trash again. And, you know, if they up and win another TI, does anybody really care?
They're going to fluke another TI or fluke another major.
Yeah, and by the time, like, they win their 5th one in a row, everyone will be like, baby, this is the one that they finally fall off.
But it's almost like they
I mean, it's amazing that they fluke 2 TIs and 4 majors. It's astonishing that they were that fluky.
They spend the whole year channeling their spirit bomb to do well at TI. So basically, Liquid, they could be shit for another 8 months here, and it's going to be fine.
The way
right
that I look
after
at
that,
it
they have to be good.
Is like, if you bomb 2 tournaments and you do okay at the, or if you do well at the major, like, does any of the players really care in the long run?
You know, again, context. Finish top 4 at the first major of the year. Pretty much guaranteed going to TI.
Yes. So, I mean, you're trying to take a long-form view, and really what the rest of the year is trying not to, like, mentally tap out. Because it's so easy for lineups. You get a rough start like this, and it's so easy to just, like, blame and start to get really down on yourself. So this is where you have to treat these games what they are. Try not to get into your own heads too much.
Were they guilty of that before, do you think? As the Alliance squad? Did they get a little bit mind-screwed themselves sometimes in the drafts?
In the drafts, yeah. I mean, I think, especially with, like, remember the whole gyro situation and stuff like that happened.
That was what I was
yeah,
thinking
sometimes stuff like that just happens.
Yeah.
It's just where it happened that was so unfortunate.
For those who don't know, the accidental pick instead of ban. Yeah.
This time it's a proper pick.
Yep. I mean, gyro was not that popular leading up until TI, but then like a month before, everyone kind of like came to realize that he was one of the best cores in the meta.
Well, because before that, people were spamming in with the IO.
Yeah, because like basically Gyro's buffing and nerfing had been tied to IO, literally and figuratively, for so long that it was like difficult to give him buffs because you're like, but IO Gyro's busted. Why would I buff Gyro?
Right.
So Gyro kind of sat in this weird place for a while, and then eventually IO got nerfed so many times, IO goes away, and then people are like, wait, he works by himself. We just need to buy the right items and play him in the right way, and then it's fine. And the itemization helped a little bit. People buy Ags, that kind of thing. Finally came into its own. Now he will get nerfed.
I really like that assessment. I hadn't really thought about it like that.
That's because I've always been a big fan of Gyro myself. I've been advocating for the Ags build for a long time. You probably know. I probably talked to you about it. But like anytime I read a patch, I was waiting for the buffs, and they just weren't going to come until the pairing got bad.
Yeah. You know what's fun is that whenever I think like Kevin's an idiot, like he'll read a patch and say, I think this is good. Like in the moment, I think he's a fool and no one does it, and then like 4 months later, it comes back around.
2, 1 maybe.
Yeah.
I called Clinks pre-TI 2 TIs ago.
Yeah. It eventually swings back around, and I look like the fool.
But a lot of the times it's like I'm calling a B hero or a B plus hero. I'm like, this hero is going to be good, and then it just takes like a couple of the A minus heroes to get nerfed, and all of a sudden that B plus is like an A minus.
It's a bit like Cottle, isn't it? Cottle has been a bit like that in the past, where he has those phases where he kind of goes out of the meta but doesn't really get changed too much, and then suddenly he's back in the meta and everyone's picking him. You're like, what?
I mean, he was even picked at TI?
A little bit, but not much.
Like almost. He was like, there was like 5 heroes left and Cottle was on it, and then he got picked a little.
Yes.
But like since then, yes, he's been played. But that's because all the other best supports nerfed a little bit, and all of a sudden there he is. He's an A minus hero now.
Yeah. Haven't been picked. I haven't seen him here yet. Seen a couple of bans on him, but not picked, I don't think.
There was one earlier today.
Maybe in one of the other matches. On the other streams.
Maybe it was a different one.
I haven't seen an awful lot of Void today because it's been banned an awful lot, but it has been given out, and it's TNC they've got it.
Yeah, PSJ thinks it's a broken carry hero. What it is it cures you team fight, no matter what. Like, this hero scales at all parts of the game. You never feel bad about having Chrono on your side. His talents are pretty good. Late game, if you don't have a save, it almost always feels like Void just pops Chrono BKB, and he's going to make the fight at best 4-on-5.
And it also just like guarantees so many kills. Like even in the early to mid period of the game, just because Chronosphere is so reliable. You buy a lot of attack speed items. The Maelstrom Mjolnir build is really effective, and he's got good talents too. Just does a lot of damage right now. I think the Time Lock Bash talent with your proc chance is just fantastic.
And he's also taller now.
Sure.
I don't know. It just seems weird. For me, I don't know, it's an optical illusion, but he just seems taller now.
His feet are very close to the camera. It seems he's clearly standing in like a flying V. He's trying to look bigger.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's probably just pushed forward more.
Yep.
It'd be weird if they changed his height all of a sudden out of nowhere.
I mean, he looks bigger than Ogre right now.
Yes,
and he is not bigger than Ogre.
Which is why I say, like, just
he's a little
I don't know why. How did he get so tall all of a sudden? Anyway, Centaur on the other side for Liquid. Will?
I think that's a really good, like, I was trying to think about like why they decided to take that. I thought they'd pick something like Pudge or something, but I think the reason for the Centaur is just high base damage, really nicely in the lane against the Hephaestus Void. And I think the idea was that they probably thought it was an Ogre 5.
Right.
But now what they're showing is that it's an off lane Ogre and a safe, it's going to be a safe lane like Void plus Undying combo. So now you have pretty good lanes again for TNC. Like, I really like what March does.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to keep things as open and flexible as possible. He's actually, by doing this, taking the role of first pick, and he's putting Liquid into a weird position, because normally here you should be able to counter pick once again. But now it's a little bit weirder in terms of like the draft order, because now TNC once again get to pick like their overall game win hero while putting Liquid into a weird position.
What is it about those MVP boys, by the way? Because nearly all of them have been drafters or coaches in the last couple of years, and they're all bloody brilliant at it.
I think they just have good ideas about the game.
Yeah.
They probably learned a lot from each other.
I mean, we can take a lot of, though he should be able to lane mid semi-good. And we don't really know if the Lina is mid or 4. Obviously, for Lina, very, very popular in China. She's got really high base armor right now. Good right clicks can be effective too. I don't know how it does mid against Alina. I'm guessing it'd be semi-okay for Lycan.
And a Grimstroke final pick for Liquid.
Okay. Grimstroke with homing missile can be good.